Hello, hello. I'm calling everyone to join the live stream. Hello. Please join in the live stream. Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. Please join in the live stream. Join in. Please do join in. Please do join in. Hello, everybody. Hello, everyone out there. Here is Mary Z Easy Recipes. That's my name, Mary Z Easy Recipes. It's Mary with a Z. So please do join in this live stream. I'll be more than thankful if you join in. Hello, everyone. Please do join in. I'm still waiting. I'm waiting. I'll just wait patiently. You never know. A friend might just come over and we have a good time together. So please do join in. Hello. Please do join in. I'm here waiting for the guests to arrive for the beautiful time we are going to have together. Please do join in. Hello. I know we are getting towards the festive season, and it's that time when most people are really busy. People are going here and there to look for just a few bits and pieces to celebrate with their families, which is really a good thing. And we are happy today because this is Christmas for 2025. And we're soon going back again going forward to Christmas 2026. So we need to be happy because we have this time and opportunity to enjoy the festive season. I was just asking myself, oh, people do go shopping. Yesterday, I went out to another supermarket. It was just like people were busy, running from shelf to shelf, aisle to look for what they like, which is really amazing. When people are happy, it is really good. Hello. We have random. Random dash post is saying D8K is saying hello. And I returned the hellos as well. Hello, Random. How are you today? And how is everything in general? I hope everything is fine. I'm really happy to have you in the live stream. We also have bros underscore ride. Hello, bros underscore rides. Nice to see you and to be with you in this live stream. Feel welcome. Feel free to join in. And guys, as you come in, if you can just tap the screen, it will show like a big, like bam, showing that you like the live stream or you like to be here. So please do like tap the screen for the likes. Random post is saying, I'm good, thank you, and how are you? I'm very good, thank you, and everything has been good with me, which I really am happy. I'm really happy. So we are really happy today to come together to have another live stream. And feel free just to to tell us where you are connecting from. It is really good sometimes just to say, oh, maybe you are connecting from which city. Sometimes the cities do escape me. Maybe you are connecting from Liverpool or from Paris or from Rome or from New York. So just feel free to tell us where you are connecting from. Oh, we have Sana. Sana Foladi. Hello, Sana Foladi. You have a nice name as well. Sana Foladi is saying, hi, I'm a new. Oh, thank you. We always welcome. the old those who were here before and the newcomers. You are really welcome. Oh, Sana Foladi says, I subscribe. Oh, thank you ever so much. You know, when you say when you this we content creators get some subscriptions, we feel so happy because they are as precious as gold. Subscriptions are precious, because if you don't have if we don't get the subscriptions, we become so, like, what can I say, we become less motivated to keep on going. So a subscription, means 100-fold to me. Thank you ever so much, Sana Foladi. Sana Foladi, if you have a channel, just type yes, So anyone with a channel, just type yes. I'll know that you have a channel. So I will always, like, keep up with connecting with you. We also have Natalie saying hi. Hello, Natalie. How are you? Lovely to have you in the live stream, Natalie. Natalie saying hi, Grandma. Hello, Natalie. Where are you connecting from, Natalie? Where are you connecting from? Are you connecting from maybe what seat can I say? Natalie says, I am so good. I actually love your content. God bless you, all, you and all. Thank you so much, Natalie. It is so, like, as I've said before, it's so, like, fulfilling. It is uplifting. It is like someone, you get filled with happiness, with, like, joy and delight when people give you some likes. Sana Foladi say, I have to go. Bye. That's fine, Sana Foladi. The best thing is that you came over to see us. And, oh. So we are really happy today. We are really happy. All right, I have read your comment, Natalie. Okay, that's fine. So I'm happy that you are happy as well. I'm happy that you are happy as well. So we are really happy today. It's another beautiful day. You know what? Where I am, I will always like to talk about. Natalie is saying hi. Yeah, he's saying hi. So I always like to talk about the weather where I am. Today has been another day, It just in the morning, it came with surprises. It was like, when I opened the curtain to see what is going on, because every time I wake up, I need to, to do the curtains, to just move them so that I see what is happening outside. I was really, like, it sort of shocked a little bit because yesterday it was calm, no rain. The rain it sort of wanted to rain, but it didn't yesterday. But today, oh my God, as I opened the curtain, all I could hear were splatters on the window, and I could see lots of droplets on the window. Then I said, "Oh my God, the rain today is come with, is come with some force." So I was really, like, I was just happy, when the showers, when they are like light showers and massive of them, it's fine, we don't really complain. So it was raining all day today. And when I listened to the weather report today, they said rain is going to be, coming like up to the weekend. We are going to have rain, frequent showers, and the temperature is just averaging 10 degrees Celsius, which means it is really cool. But what can we do? We really keep ourselves warm, and sometimes we need to double our clothes. It's like you don't have to wear like a shirt only, just double them. Put some t-shirts. Sometimes I can even put it two t-shirts inside when I'm going out. Then I will put the jacket. So we are happy because it's a stable weather. Okay, I can understand what she's saying, Natalie. Okay. So we are really happy today, and I've read what you have said, Natalie. We are really happy today because it's another beautiful day, beautiful day. And you know what the report said? They said next week uh, we are going to have, it is going maybe to lessen a bit, the rain is going to lessen a bit, and they are forecasting that probably on the Christmas day, like up to Christmas day, it's going to be a little bit brighter. This is not from my I'm not a meteorologist, so I was just listening to the news and I said, oh, Christmas is going to be a bit brighter. That will be fine. So that's what we are expecting weather-wise. And yeah, the meteorologists, they do their thing, and they study the weather patterns, the winds. Imagine they study the winds, the speed of the winds, the directions of the winds, and the what else? Yeah, something like that. And they also tell us about the pressure. What pressure is there. On any like environment. So which is really good. And when you look at the weather, when they report the weather, you also see, the direction of the winds. They show us with arrows where the winds are blowing from, which is really amazing. So we have another happy day today. Please do join in. Those who are still coming, please do join in before I embark on the subject today. Because you know what I decided? My aim, like, I think my aim is from now to the unforeseen future. I'm just going to be like just coming to talk about things which people know, because I love to talk about things people know, and I love to just share ideas. It's just like you're doing a little revision. So I like to share things about which are familiar to people, so that when they listen to what I'm saying, they'll just say, oh yes, because I love positivity. So for example, if I say, oh, the earth is like is round like a sphere, then people say, oh yes, because they know that. And if I say, what else can I say? If I say the square root of 49 is 7. People know the answer. They'll say, oh, yes. So I'm someone who likes positivity. So most of my topics, which I plan and which I come to share with the audience, involve, things which are familiar. I love familiarity. I don't want to talk about like things which like are not really popular with the people, because the word popular means everyone, like most of the people know. So popularity is really good. For example, I can talk about, if I talk about a cabbage, like describing a cabbage, because I know people know a cabbage. So I say, oh, a cabbage. There are many types of cabbages. Some just, some like sort of have like sort of bulb together, the leaves bulb together. But some of them, they just like to be loose leafed. So if I talk about cabbages, people will know, and it will be interesting, more interesting. Yeah. So that's why today I've chosen another popular or another familiar topic to the public. So before I go any further, I know there are new people who joined on earlier on. So I have the tendency always of introducing myself. So I am taking this opportunity now to introduce myself. My name is Mary Z Easy Recipes. Mary Z Easy Recipes. So if you go on the YouTube platform, you will just, you just go where it says, you type it, then you go to Mary Z with a Z. Then you go to easy, easy, like take it easy recipes. So it's at Mary Z Easy Recipes. So that is my name. But you can always call me Mary Z, which is really another way of calling me. That's the other name. So we are really happy today, as usual, to have this live stream. We are really happy. And we have another interesting topic. I think from tomorrow, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to write like my topics, maybe 10 topics. I'm going to write 10 topics on a little piece of paper. Then what I'll do after I read the 10 topics, I'll just like fold the little papers, like what people do when they're carrying out like a quiz. It's like when a group of people come together and they want to do like question and answers, and they want people to keep to pick their questions. So that's what I'm going to do like tomorrow. I will write the topics on pieces of paper, and maybe I'll think about 10 topics. So what I'll do is I'll put them in a hat or in a container. Then every morning I pick up a paper, you know, I pick up one, because I don't want to, I want to be honest to myself, I want just to be honest, so that I know, oh, today I picked this one. Then that's the topic I'll be dealing with, because I'm into doing topics, because I love to, sometimes some of these topics you have to read around, you have to research, and you have to sort of, find the information. So that's my plan. 10 topics, put them in a container each morning for the coming 10 days, until I think the coming 10 days will be, the last one will be Christmas Day. So I'm going to do 10 topics up to Christmas Day, because today is 18. Oh, so how many days are left up to Christmas? So anyhow, I will just do 10 topics, put them in a container, and I know 10 topics, fold the little papers, put them in a container. So every day I'll pick one topic, and then come back and then prepare the topic. It's just fun, life should have fun, we need to have fun, because people say, oh, life, you know what they say about life. So we need to have fun. So I just want to make myself happy, and just to be sort of like, adventurous, sort of behaving. Surprises are always good, I love surprises, not negative surprises, of course. Positive surprises are really good. Like on Boxing Day, people are going to get surprises. Those who are lucky are going to get surprises. Like early morning, you say, oh, let's go to the Christmas tree and see what's cooking there. So people will be getting surprises from their friends and family. And that's the other reason why people love the festive season, because it's full of surprises on a good note. So I'm going to surprise myself with topics, and then come over here and share with everybody. So we have Natalie saying, what is it? Hi, saying hi. And Sona Foladi saying, I'm back. Oh, nice to have you back. So you see, you should stay with me here. It is, it is fantastic to be here. So as you come in, I've already said that please do the tap, 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 tap on the screen. It makes me happy, and it makes me get motivated. We all love to be motivated, because life, in life we need people to encourage us, you know, like what they do, the teachers do. The teachers are always encouraging their students. Oh, you've done well. You got 8 out of 10. Oh, that is really beautiful. And we have done a great job out of it. That's what the teachers say. And some will just say, oh, that's excellent. You get 80% or 70%, you know. So it motivates the students to work harder to work harder each day. So the same applies with, it's not only school children or students who need praises. Even me, I'm not a student. I'm just trying to be a content creator, to be an excellent content creator. So when people give me some likes, I feel so happy and motivated. And tomorrow I'll come back again with another topic. So it is motivation is really awesome. So I'm really happy today because we have another beautiful and another beautiful what is it topic, another beautiful topic. So those who are coming in, please continue to tap the screen to show to give me the likes, and and just tell us where you are connecting from. You can also tell us your hobbies. So each day I host a live stream. I just love to talk about my hobbies. Oh, Natalie said, Grandma, I'm about to subscribe. All right. And you girl, hello, you girl, you are a girl. Geli, is it Geli? You are a Geli. I think I remember that name. You are a Geli. Hello, how are you? I hope everything is good with you, and I hope you are having a great time where you are. You guys, can you tell me where you are connecting from? If you don't mind, because sometimes some of these things are like confidential. Sometimes people don't want to tell the public, because this is a public platform. So sometimes people say, "Oh, I don't want to tell people where I am from." It's fine, but if you you girlie says, mine used to be XX cinnamon. Is that your favorite food? Cinnamon roll. Is it a cinnamon roll? I think so. You wanted to say cinnamon? What is cinnamon roll? What is that? You are a girl saying no. What is that? You are a girl. I haven't come across that name. Cinnamon roll. Oh. Let me jot it down so that I can research it. Is that a favorite? What is it really? You girl. You girlie. Oh, cinnamon roll. It's a cute character. Oh, right. I get where you are coming from. Oh, it's a character. There's lots of characters nowadays. Some of them, I don't even know them. Cinnamon roll. Okay. So, um, we are just saying it's a cute bunny. Oh, is it? Oh, that's nice. That's nice. So she has a cinnamon roll, a bunny. Oh, that's nice. So hopefully you'll get some other beautiful presents again this coming festive season. So I always want to tell people about my hobbies. You can also tell me your hobbies. Those people in the chat, you can always tell us your hobbies if you want to. You can tell us where you are connecting from if you are free to say that. You can also tell us, what else can you tell us? Yeah. Or if you have any questions, or if you want to tell us something, like you, Geli, has told us that she has a cute bunny. Oh, that's nice. That's really nice. So today we are talking about beautiful items. So that one will suit, like a pretty bunny. That is a cute bunny, which is, you know, like part of our topic today. So I was just saying, I have some hobbies. My hobbies are, I like cooking. I like cooking. I also like music. I like gardening. I like films. I also like, selling little things. Those are my hobbies. So I don't know, those in the chat, if you have any hobbies, you can always tell us. If you have any hobbies, you can always tell us. And you girl is saying, wow. And you girl is saying, likes crochet. Oh, crochet is also it's a good pastime, And I used to crochet. It's only because, I, because of some, pressure of work and so on, I didn't go on with crocheting. But I would love to start it again one day. Maybe if I go into town and buy the crochet hook and the wool, I can then, start crocheting. It is really fascinating. And you, Geril, is saying, I have to go. Bye. Okay, that's fine. See you another time. And she's saying, have a beautiful, blessed day. Oh, thank you so much. You are so kind and thank you. So, um, we are about to go into our topic today. Like I said, expect more and more topics from me because that is my goal during this period. When you are embarking on something, I always say that it is a good idea to have some goals, and you set your goals and then you ask yourself, is this goal measurable? Is it goal specific? For example, this live stream I'm hosting now, my goal was to talk about a certain topic, and then I asked myself, is it specific? Yes, it's a topic about something. Then I said, and the next thing was, can I do it within because it's about an hour or so. Then I said, oh yes, I can do it. It's measurable. And then I asked myself, is it achievable? Do you think you will be able to talk about this topic? And I said, oh, even though it is some challenges, I think I will be able to do it, to talk about this topic. Then the other question came to my mind. All this was happening in my brain. And then the other question was, do you think that topic is relevant? Do you think people would like to listen to it? And then I answered that question in my mind and said, yes, I think it is relevant. Then the last question came to my mind, and it was saying, do you think the time you are going to start your live stream up to the time you finish, do you think you'll be able to cover what you have decided to talk about today? The time factor. Then it was just like bells ringing in my mind. Then I said, oh, about the time, I think I have like 2 hours, 2 hours. So 2 hours is even a lot, I could even cover that topic within like 1 hour, like 1 hour, 1 hour 50 minutes. But 2 hours is even a lot. So I ticked all the box. So I was following the SMART objectives, like SMART: S for specific topic, M for measurable, A for achievable, R for relevant, and T for the time. So this is what we should do when we plan to host maybe a live stream or whatever, or when you are planning to do something at home. You always, these things just come to your mind like automatically. Of course, you don't need to write them down that, oh, I'm going to do this. Sometimes it will just flow because your focus will be on you just have that focus that, oh, I need to achieve this thing, and I need to do it this way, and I make sure that I achieve it in this specific time. So this makes our life, our what we plan, this makes our goals achievable. So hopefully today, the topic I have today, I'm just hoping that it will be, my goal is to just to say to the audience that beauty is subjective. That those 3 words, when you hear that beauty is subjective, you start to wonder, oh, what does it mean? Subjective. What is that now? So it is a good topic because it gives you, it makes you like start to think, it makes you say, oh, one is it, wow, what is the meaning of this subjective thing? Why is she saying that beauty is subjective? So it gives people the chance to explore, to reflect, and to problem solve. Problem solving is a really good thing for us human beings. If you are able to problem solve, it means you are like doing the right thing, because our lives are full of problems. I always say, me, I don't call them problems. I've refrained to call these things which are like, which come to us. I've refrained from calling them problems. I call them challenges. So whenever you hear me saying challenges, I don't want to say problem. So I will say challenges. It's like every day. I'm giving like I'm just like giving a testimony of myself. Like every day. It's like there's no day which passes without challenges. For example, today, today I thought now, because I've been having a problem with the shower, the shower head. Sometimes it's temperamental. It's like, these gadgets we have in the house, they are temperamental sometimes. Sometimes they work. And they say, oh, today is not working. Today the water is like flowing so slowly. So when I woke up today, the first challenge was I needed to take the refuse out and then put the bins where they are supposed to be so that they can be collected for recycling and for refuse. So it was raining. So that was my first challenge. When I opened the curtains, I said, oh, it's raining. I need to take the bins out. So that was the first challenge. So taking the bins out in the rain. Although it's not like a big deal, but those are little challenges which we face, from like day to day. Then from that challenge, another challenge, challenges. Sometimes we have like 10 of them. And sometimes we have like 20 of them in one day. So the other challenge today was, I wanted this shower. It was just, like dripping. When the shower drips, and when it's not like, like forceful. Sometimes it's really forceful. Then sometimes it is just like, it's not like forceful. So that was another challenge, because sometimes we like the shower to be forceful so that you just shower, and all is done. So it's another challenge. And the challenge is, if I keep on saying them, you'll be surprised. More and more challenges, more and more challenges. And there's something which I found that was it finished. Because sometimes I like to use some onion in the house in cooking, and I love like to use like the red onion. So I don't know, yesterday I went shopping, but I forgot to buy the onion. So that was another challenge. So that means I had to make another journey, to the supermarket. So these are like examples of small challenges, but they are easily achievable. They are easily manageable. But sometimes we meet challenges which we cannot like solve within a short time. Yeah, this is part of our life. There are challenges which are like, um, they call them what? Trivial. That's the word. Sometimes we have trivial challenges, like the rain. It's just trivial. It wasn't like raining cats and dogs. No, it was just like drizzle. So that's a trivial challenge. I can walk in the rain without a raincoat because it is just showers. Oh, we have another guest in the house. Hello, big SNF shows. Hello, and Big is saying Merry Christmas. Thank you so much for wishing us a Merry Christmas. I love Christmas, And the only thing which which I don't like is I don't like, I like the 25th and 26th. I don't like the 27th. Because the 27th, it's like, oh, it's gone, and now the Christmas is gone. So I'm waiting for, I like 3 days during the festive season. I like Christmas Eve, I like Christmas Day, and I like Boxing Day. The reason why I like Christmas Eve is, most of the time on Christmas Eve, I go shopping. I love to go shopping on Christmas Eve. The reason why I go shopping on Christmas Eve is because I just love to to see people who are also late shoppers, just like running around, looking for their favorite, like, cookies. And when they go there, they won't find the cookies. So that's that's really like funny, that's like fun, because sometimes I also go to look for my favorite cookies last minute. So hopefully I'll find them on Christmas Eve. So I just love going Christmas on Christmas Eve. I was also telling one of my family members that, oh, well, let's go. She was saying, oh, let's go early. I said, no, we love Christmas Eve shopping, so we are going Christmas Eve. And Bix is saying 31st December and 1st January though. Oh, those ones. Yeah, 31st December is good. Because on 31st December, what I like are I like to listen to the fireworks, because I like to listen to people, or to go and watch fireworks. That's what I like on 31st December. But 1st of January, I don't really like the 1st of January, because the celebration is over on 31st. So on 1st of January, I sort of get like, oh, what is the next thing now? 1st of January is just like, I'll be asking myself questions. So what's next? What's next? What are we going to do? Now we are in 2026. So I don't really fancy the 1st of January. So that is such is life. We love our celebrations, and we love our months, and our Januaries, and our Decembers. And Bix and is saying, yeah, when there's 2025, it did it. Yeah, it's done. So the 31st is good. But the 1st of January, oh, I start to have like nostalgia, like, oh, is that year gone? Maybe the year was good. So I already started having nostalgia, like, oh, I wish it would be 2025, because I don't know what's going to happen in 2026. Such things do come to my mind sometimes. And Bilk is saying, didn't feel like it was 2025. I feel like 2024. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Sometimes you don't even comprehend what is happening, and where are we? Where are we in terms of life? Are the things moving, or they are not moving? Because we always talk about things moving, and things to move. Oh, maybe, yeah, this year I'm going to do this. I'm going to achieve this. And then maybe the year just goes before we achieve again. So that's what we mean by moving. We want things to move when we have our resolutions, and we want them to come to be. That's why we see the year like just the year is like it's going fast, because we haven't been able to have the opportunity to have our achievements. So that is what happens. So today, let me go to the topic now, and enjoy. I hope you are going to enjoy. Look what I'm saying. It's like a chef When a chef is cooking, for example, if the chef is cooking some salmon, or the chef is cooking like a leg of lamb, I like those things. Salmon, I love salmon. And the chef is cooking like a leg of lamb. It's now a long time since I had a leg of lamb. I love leg of lamb, but I don't know when will I ever have it. I just don't know. Sometimes I don't remember or to buy or to, anything which looks like a leg of lamb. So I like a leg of lamb. I like salmon. And what else do I like? Yeah, those two. Because I rarely have them. So that's why I like them. When you rarely have something, you tend to like it more, like this leg of lamb. As for me, I'm just giving my testimony. I rarely have leg of lamb. I don't remember the last time I had to roast a leg of lamb. But when you roast a leg of lamb, and when you like cut it in the appropriate marinade, we call it marinade. When you marinate it properly, the leg of lamb, and then you just um, bake it or roast it in the oven. And first of all, you raise the heat maybe up to about 100 200 degrees Celsius. Then after some time, you lower the oven heat, and the leg of lamb just cooks. And when you carve it, after it is done, the carving, it will just be falling off the bone. And what you do, you prepare your gravy, and you prepare this gravy, which is like not from this world, which is so delicious. So all you do is, you usually, I like to, if I have the leg of lamb, I like to serve the leg of lamb with like mixed vegetables, maybe broccoli and so on. And I also like to do roast potato, And you find that when you prepare a leg of lamb meal, you maybe have like 3 little roast potatoes, because it's so filling. So you have just a little bit of roast potato, you have your veggies there, and you prepare your gravy from out of this world, and then the leg of lamb is just falling apart from the bone. Then you just carve it and enjoy. So that's the other thing I really like. Yeah, I like that. So hopefully, sooner or later, I might get it somewhere and maybe do that recipe, because cooking is one of my my hobbies. And from cooking, I like gardening. And what I can say about gardening is that I love growing crops, but at the moment, because of the weather, there's no way we can, we can go to the garden and start planting the crops, because it's so cold at the moment. But the joy will come. There's people always say, "Oh, don't worry, joy will come." So even in gardening, I shouldn't worry. Joy is going to come. So soon we go into we are in winter. Spring will come next, and that's the time when we start going to just prepare a little here and there, and prepare the garden so that we plant our crops. Yeah, I find joy in that, doing that. And then the other thing I like is just watching films, and listen to music. I like to listen to the divas, when it comes to music. I always play the divas, like Celine Dion. I also play Whitney and Mariah Carey, those. So I listen to the divas music. And with films, I can watch any film, but over the years I've decided not to watch horror films in the night. I only watch them like in the day. What else do I like? I like selling things, one or two things, like little things. I do like selling things on the other platforms where they're called sites where people sell little items and so on. So today, welcome everybody to this topic today. The topic is talking about, about uh, this thing depends on the perceiver. Beauty is depends on the perceiver. In order for someone to say, oh, this, for example, this glass is so beautiful, not everyone sees it as beautiful, but to some people it is just a normal, they'll just call, oh, that's just a normal glass. And some people say, oh, that water glass, that glass is really beautiful. So beauty is subjective. It means it depends on who is seeing the thing, and also it depends on how they feel, when they see a certain thing. This idea of being subjective, it comes from their emotions, because the way we perceive beauty, it comes from our emotions. So human beings have emotions. Like we have emotions of feeling like happy, feeling sad, and so on. So we also have this, our emotions will guide us to judge whether something is beautiful or something is not, like it's just like ordinary. So that's the topic today. There's someone who said, according to these people who do like psychology, someone said beauty is subjective. It depends on what the perceiver considers, to be beauty. It depends on what the perceiver says it is beautiful. It depends on how the someone seeing something, will have a judgment. It's like a judgment. When you see something, you can be a judge. You said, oh, this light is I don't like the light. I don't think it's beautiful. Or you can say, oh, this phone here, it seems like it's an old phone. Look at this one. It's an old phone. So I don't think I can consider it to be beautiful. It's iPhone 12. Oh my God, that's not beautiful. But if you have an iPhone 17, then maybe it depends how you see it. Then you can say, oh, iPhone 17 is beautiful. It is like, it is updated. Its camera, it's whatever, it's everything is nice. So you'll say the iPhone is beautiful because that's how you see it. So beauty is subjective. It depends on what you see and your emotions. We have emotions, lots of emotions. Emotions like happiness is an emotion, and showing like showing like unhappiness is also an emotion. All those feelings, emotions, are part of our feelings, how we feel. Those are emotions, how we feel. So let's define beauty. Beauty is seen as the nature or the nature or quality of something. It can be a thing, it can be a person, it can be an animal. So how we see things in our environment, is how we can determine whether to us or to you or to me, whether that thing is beautiful. For example, I've said, you might, this pen here, someone will say, oh, your pen is beautiful. But in me, I find it is just an ordinary pen. I don't see any beauty in this pen. But someone will say, oh, it is beautiful. So beauty is subjective. It depends on how you are seeing the thing. So what makes us have that emotion that something is beautiful? It's because in our emotions, we have some sort of satisfaction is created deep in our hearts, we have that satisfaction, deep satisfaction. Then we say, oh, that is beautiful, because we are satisfied. Our emotions tell us, they'll just guide us and say, oh, that is beautiful, so um so this happens when we look at various things. I said it can be an object, non-living things, living things. What else? Yeah, and sometimes it depends on the shape of that thing. For example, if you have uh, maybe you have for example, this glass here, it's cylindrical. It's like a cylinder. So that's its shape. Now, if you have a glass which is like a cubical glass, you might say, oh, I think the cubical, or the sort of square prism type of glass, maybe it's better than this cylindrical. So it depends how you see the shapes. So the shapes also um, like make people have a judgment whether the thing is beautiful or not. So beauty, can be judged through the shape of something. Like if the thing is like um have a symmetrical shape. By symmetric, it means this water glass here is not symmetrical, because look at the bottom here. The diameter is smaller than at the rim, so it's not symmetrical. So for some people, they say, oh, they don't like this type of glass. Why is it like uh, sort of have a smaller diameter here, but it has a larger diameter here? So for some people, beauty is in the symmetry. When things are like, it's like the same shape up to the end, not this one, which is narrow here and wider here. So according to the judgment of individuals, some people would see this as beautiful. Some people say, no, it's not beautiful, because it's not like symmetrical. Symmetrical means the shape is the same throughout. That's symmetrical. So sometimes we see beauty when objects are in symmetrical, shape. It's all about the shape. And sometimes we see beauty. We say, oh, this is beautiful. When we see colors, oh, especially colors. Human beings love colors. You find someone said, you go into a shop, a clothes shop, and there's like a black jumper like this one, and maybe there is like a beige jumper. Then someone will say, oh, why should I wear a black jumper? I don't find it beautiful. I like the beige jumper. So sometimes colors, according to other people, they see beauty in certain colors. And some people will never wear another color. They just like their own that color. They like all their clothes are like. Some people are like they see beauty in colors, and they have a wardrobe full of like beige clothes. They don't like floral clothes, because they don't find beauty in floral clothes. And some people will say, oh, they will never wear black clothes like this black one here, because they don't find beauty. They don't perceive that as beauty, because beauty is subjective. It depends on what you see, on how you take it. So colors, some people they find bright colors as beautiful, and some people they find dark colors or dark colors as beautiful. And the other one, which also comes to when we talk about beauty, even sounds. We've talked about shapes, colors, even sounds. That's why you see, if you play certain music in your homestead, Some people say, "Oh, just take the switch off that music," because I because they don't like the sound coming from that music. They don't find it beautiful, but some people will find it beautiful. So various sounds, even if some people who do bird watching. Some people, there are people who do bird watching. They really love and they find the sounds of these, the crows and the magpies and the doves and so on. They find the sounds so melodious, that they would just like be sitting there watching the birds and listening to their sounds because they find the sounds melodious. So it's about they find the sounds beautiful, like the different sounds of music, and yeah, different sounds of music, and that's why people have, oh, my favorite singer is, for example, I would say my favorite singer is maybe Celine Dion, because I like the way she sings. But some people would say, oh, my favorite singer is maybe another singer. It's because we perceive beauty differently. And I also have talked about the design, design of things, it's like buildings, like houses. And some will say, oh, I like the design of that house. It's so beautiful. But another person say, oh, I don't like it. Why should you have a flat roof? It looks like, oh, it doesn't look nice. So people have different, like, uh, they perceive differently, when it comes to beauty. Another building will be a beauty, would be revealing some beauty to one person, and for another person, it will be like an eyesore. That's where the word eyesore comes in. Oh, I don't like it. It has 3 floors. It doesn't look nice. And someone said, oh, I love the 3 floors because when I'm on the 3rd floor, I can easily view the landscape, and it is really beautiful. So I like the design of the house. So some people find beauty in designs, different designs, even in clothes. Oh, I love, we've heard like famous, we know about, they call them designers and designers clothing. Let me see which was the designers clothing. Some people find them really beautiful, so they go for designers clothing. However, the designers clothing are a bit expensive than the high street, the type of clothes. So the designers clothes, some people find them, they don't wear anything which is not like a designer cloth. So but that one depends with your finance. Yeah. But beauty is in the eyes of the perceiver. Beauty is in the eyes of the perceiver. Yeah, you know what I mean by designer clothes. I cannot mention them here, but some people they see beauty in designer clothes, and for some people, they even if someone gives them a designer clothes like shoes or designer clothes, if you give them designer clothes, some people will say, oh, this is just a skirt. They won't say, oh, it's a designer. Some people, because maybe they are not like well informed about the designing things of fashion. So this happens. And imagine if you give maybe someone a real designer item of clothing, and they'll just say, oh, you gave me a trousers. Oh, at least I can keep myself warm. But they wouldn't mention the word like beautiful, and you'll be expecting, maybe yourself that, oh, you find it beautiful, but when you give it away, some people wouldn't see the beauty in it. So the way we perceive things is different, and sometimes we we people see beauty in like sophisticated items, For example, sophistication in clothing, in designer clothing. There are some clothes which we always see on TV or on in the media. It's like those clothes which are worn by the princes and the princesses. They are really different from the clothes we find sometimes in the high street because they are like custom made. They are like tailor made to suit them. It's like if it's a jacket, it's just you know, it's just like a jacket which is, for example, as for me, when I see princesses wearing their clothes, I always find the clothes stunning and beautiful. That's how I perceive the most of their clothes. And we know that some of them are made by, they are like designer, you know, they are sophisticated. And you know what I mean by that. Imagine a princess. They don't just wear like usual clothes like what we wear. They wear clothes which are sophisticated with like the patterns which they use to cut those dresses. They are designed by people who know what they are doing. So yeah, sometimes we find beauty in sophisticated items. We find beauty in sophisticated items. It's not only about clothes. We find beauty in the pictures, the artwork. Yeah. If you see maybe an artwork, if you happen to maybe you see an artwork by Leonardo da Vinci, let's say two people are presented with that art. They say, oh, look at this art. And the person who is showing you won't tell you that this art is by Leonardo da Vinci. And then it will be interesting to see how two people will rate that art. You'll be surprised to hear that maybe one of them said, oh my God, I've never seen such art. This is magnificent. This is out of this world. This is beyond I never thought I would be in a position to see such a beautiful art. But maybe because the other one doesn't, or maybe both of them, they don't know that is from a famous artist. Maybe you might be surprised that one of them said, oh, I don't like it, you know. So, but otherwise we know that that will be a magnificent a masterpiece. They call them masterpieces. So that would surprise us. And that's why these psychologists came up with the explanation that beauty is subjective. It depends on what you perceive. It depends on what you perceive. Even this scarf here I'm wearing, maybe one of my family members would say, oh, why are you wearing that color? I don't like it. But as for me, I perceive it as I like it. It's beautiful in my eyes. So beauty is subjective. It all depends on how we feel. It all depends on our emotions. So this is what happens in our day-to-day life. Even sometimes you might come across sometimes you might come across a car, even a car. There's beauty in cars. So just so there's beauty in everything we have here on this Mother Earth. There's beauty in everything. Everything here, I think, is beautiful. But it only depends, on how you perceive the thing. So even with cars, you might go for example, if you go and like visit where they are like vintage cars, Some people won't even say, oh, I don't think they are beautiful. Because they are just like, oh, that's how they perceive. But if it's someone who knows about cars and who knows what vintage means, they will see this vintage car and say, oh my goodness, this car is beautiful, But for another person, oh, I think it's an old car. I don't really like it, So beauty is subjective. It depends on the perceiver. Okay, let's go on. So that's what we are talking about. Beauty, about beauty. It depends with the perceiver. And so, usually when people perceive something as beautiful, they always utter certain words. Someone will say, "Oh, that is so attractive. That dress is so attractive. I think I've seen it on the shop window." And I'm going to look for money, I'm going to buy it. So people use words like attractive when they see something which they think is beautiful. And some people say, "Oh, that picture is so attractive." So those are the words people use. And someone will say, "Oh, he has grown some pretty roses. The roses in his garden are pretty." That's how, when they see the roses, when they visit that garden, they'll say, "Oh, these roses are pretty." But when they see, like which flower, maybe there are also sunflowers growing there. Maybe someone say, "Oh, these roses are so beautiful," but they wouldn't comment the same when they see the sunflowers. This is just an example. And someone will say, "Oh, that what else? That picture or that garment is charming." It means they found beauty. When you find beauty in something, those are the words you use. You use those words. And sometimes you can use the word, "Oh, that there's cuteness in that phone. There's cuteness in that new phone. Oh, it's iPhone 17. Oh dear, it is so cute." Or some people find beauty in their pets. They say, "Oh, the kitten is so cute. Oh, the Labrador is so cute. Oh, the German Shepherd is so cute. Oh, that horse, he has a horse. It's like a stallion. It shows that it is fit and strong. The horse is beautiful. Maybe the horse is like a whitish or creamish color, or the horse is black in color." And someone will find beauty in animals. So beauty is depends with how your emotions come about. And so the other people, like those who describe beauty, they say it depends on how you see the object. And maybe you find this, that it's symmetrical. Then when you find a symmetrical object, you say, "Oh, this is beautiful." So the symmetry can affect your emotions. And then you say it's beautiful. So it's like an emotional response. It's all to do with how we feel. Emotional response. And when we judge something as being beautiful, what happens next? We just feel like we like the thing, and we feel happy even to look at it. When we look at it, we feel happy. When we look at it, we feel like we feel satisfied just to look at it. And we also feel like we have pleasure, in happiness, in seeing the thing. And sometimes, if it's an object, we can go and buy it. If it's a pet, we can also go and buy the pet. So That's what beauty does to us. So it's an emotion. So how we see it. So imagine it's like three, I can say three way. What happens first? We have an object in the center. Let's imagine there's an object in the center, and then there's someone. The person is in here on the right side. So we have the person who is seeing the object on the right, on the left side. Then the object is in the center. Then the result is and then when the person is seeing the object, then the person will obviously, each time you see an object, you have some emotions about that object each time. It happens, like every day, like all the time with us. Then sometimes we are rating. It's about rating the object. When we see the object, we rate it. Oh, that object. Oh, that book. Oh, that flower. Oh, it's beautiful. Oh, that picture. It's beautiful. So we are rating. We rate the objects. We rate everything we see with our eyes, and then we build some, like, our emotions will then come with a result that, I feel it's beautiful. I feel it's just like an ordinary thing, something like that. So the object is the central thing. So the object can be a person, can be our animals we can keep, can be the possessions we have, you know, and after we perceive them, we see them. The result might be, oh, I think it's beautiful. Oh, it's beautiful, something like that. So when your feelings or your emotions, tell you that, oh, the thing is beautiful, then you have like positive emotions about the thing. You have positive emotions about the thing. Imagine you have like a Rolex, the Rolex. People say the Rolex is one of the, some types of Rolex. They are really beautiful and they are really valuable. So if you have a Rolex and as your possession, obviously, what made you buy this Rolex is maybe you saw it in the catalog or in the shop. Then you said, "Oh, I think I like that Rolex. It is so beautiful." So when you happen to buy it, it's now your possession. Then what do? You develop positive feelings towards your Rolex. And how will you, care for it? Because that Rolex has triggered some emotions to you. Then you will then say you treasure it. So people do treasure beautiful things. They are beautiful possessions. So you will treasure it, and obviously, if I was the one with a Rolex, I would buy a safe for it, and I would keep it in the safe because I perceive it's beautiful. It is like sort of triggered some emotion in me that it's beautiful. I should look after it. Then what do I do? I look for a safe and keep it under, lock and key, only take it when I want to use it. Yeah, so those are some of the results when we find that something is beautiful. Even our flowers in the garden, there are some flowers which are so like beautiful when according to other people, the way they perceive them. So if you have a garden of beauty of flowers which you consider beautiful, you will tend that garden like every day. You just walking around to see if there are no like pests, harming the crops, or the flowers. Because you have found that they are beautiful according to you. So some other things which we find, like which people find beautiful. Examples people, I've heard people saying, oh, they go and watch. I've seen someone doing that. They go and watch the sunset. They find the sunset beautiful. When the sun is showing that golden color before it disappears. They love the sunset. They find the sunset is beautiful. So according to them, it's beautiful. But as for me, I've never like watched the sunset, so that's how different, people perceive beauty. I know it's fine, but I haven't, like gone to a position where I'll just sit and watch the sunset. But some people, they really find it beautiful. They have perceived, the way they perceive sunset is that when it is like they have the opportunity, they'll just go and watch the sunset. And some people, they find some landscapes beautiful, they perceive them as beautiful. Imagine, I've seen on TV, some people have like mountains in their countries. But those people with mountains in their countries, they go up those mountains and they do start some fires, and they will just let the fires destroy the grasses and the trees. It's because they don't perceive that vegetation to be beautiful. But I've seen some countries and some other places where the people there, they let the trees grow on the mountain. The mountains and the hills are covered with green trees, and the grass just grows, and the grass just goes, like it dries on its own, and it grows back again and dries on its own, and no one, like if it starts fires on those grass, it's because those people in that country, they love to see the greenery. They perceive that as the best like landscape. So they don't like destroy the trees, they don't destroy the grass. So that's the difference with the people. But some people will just, like I said in the example, some people will just say, oh, we have this tree has been here for many years, why should we let it grow? Then they cut it down. And then they say, oh, this grass is too much here in this mountain. Then they burn it. They burn the grass. So I've seen those like documentaries where people just burn the vegetation. They cut all down the trees down. It's because, that's why they say beauty is in the eyes of the perceiver. If those people found that vegetation beautiful, they wouldn't burn the vegetation. So that's the difference with. That's why the psychologists will say, or the great thinkers, even Aristotle talked about, beauty, and he was also saying it depends with the object and so on, and its shape. But people, the way people perceive beauty is different. So we've talked about beauty in sunset, or looking at the sunset, viewing the sunset, beauty, like landscapes, and even there are people who love to just to visit like mountains. They like to visit lakes. You just see people, you know, visiting lakes and admiring the waters. And most of these lakes, like they have like clear water, and people just love they find beauty in them. And some will take photographs of the mountains, of the like densely, mountains densely covered with vegetation. People take photos. People take photos of the water of the lakes and even waterfalls. People find them so beautiful, and they like to go there and take pictures. Even in our shops, I've seen some, they sell, like pictures and art of waterfalls, art of mountains. Some people do find beauty in that, and they buy those pictures. And some people like to live along the coastline because they love to see the waters of the oceans, coming like splashing inwards and then going when the tides, and then the waters flash and go back and go back again. So some people perceive that as beauty. They love that. And I've talked about flowers. And people also find beauty in animals, whether domesticated animals, our pets, and whether it's I've seen people like they move in town carrying their little like chihuahuas because they perceive them as beautiful, so they carry them with them, and wherever they go with their little pets, because they find them as beautiful. Yeah. But other people, I've seen other people, I don't know, that's why they say we perceive beauty differently. Other people would, they like to keep the dogs. Yeah, they like to keep the dogs. But the way they treat the dogs is just different. You'd wonder, why are they keeping the dogs? But such is life. But other people, they'll keep the dogs and look after them, you know, in a caring way, because they look at the dogs and they perceive beauty in the dogs, beauty in the cats, beauty in the horses, even the cows. I've seen cows which are like beautiful. I think I saw these cows in a documentary in, it's either in Italy or in Germany. They were showing animal, farm animals. And the cows, they are just like, oh my God! You ask yourself, is that a cow or is that is that a cattle? Because they look after them, they see them as beautiful creatures. So, when you perceive something as beautiful, obviously you build in some emotions towards the thing. You build some positive emotions, and you do whatsoever you can to make sure, yeah, that animal or that object or even that person is looked after, because you perceive beauty in that. So even birds, some people keep birds, and there are also birds in the wild, which are so beautiful. If you like go on the public domain and just look for beautiful birds, you will be amazed. They have like they are like they have colors like red, blue, purple, and the colors of their feathers. They're like blue, red, purple, yellow. It's like they're like a rainbow, but they are birds. So those birds, according to some people, they look so beautiful. So if you happen to come across a bird like that, which you perceive beautiful, you just leave it on its own. But if you don't have like a positive emotion towards a bird like that, you just say, oh, let me just take this bird away. So people do that. So there's beauty in animals, in birds, in objects, in everything on this planet. There's beauty according to the perceiver. According to the perceiver. So beauty is subjective. So let's go to the last part of our discussion is about beauty in people, in human beings. It's also subjective. Some people would say, "Oh, that model." I just give examples of models because they are in the public domain. Some people say, "Oh, that model is so beautiful. When she wears those high heels, and when she wears that like chocolate like suit, she looks so stunning." It's how you perceive the model. I'm not saying that it's only models in whom people perceive beauty. People perceive beauty in all human beings. All human beings, are perceived as beautiful. But here I'm just giving an example of the people who are in the public domain. We all of us human beings are beautiful. As for me, I find beauty in all human beings, no matter their appearance, no matter their color, no matter their status, no matter their profession, their professions, no matter their what else? Their country of origin, no matter everybody. As for me, everybody has beauty in them. I see beauty in human beings. It's because the way we are, the way we are, you know, it is, I see beauty in all human beings. So I think I have a good attitude, because if you see beauty in all human beings, there's no way I can, what else? What can I say? I'm failing to find the word. There's no way I can have like negativity towards them. That's the best way to use. If you find beauty in someone, there's no way you can, like have like negativity towards them. I hope you do understand what I'm saying. Because if we perceive everybody as beautiful, beautiful is a complex term, but it's there. We mustn't ignore it. It's there, the term beauty. I don't know who brought, even during the times of Longbeck, the times of Aristotle, the times of the medieval times, they always talked about the princess. There's a beautiful princess, and so on. But otherwise, in actual fact, everybody is beautiful, no matter what. Everybody is beautiful. So, although beauty is subjective, but when nowadays we see people usually talk about models, singers. Yeah, we know they are there to represent us, because sometimes we take them as maybe role models, because they are in the limelight. That's why people always like to assess them. Oh, that model is so beautiful. Oh, that princess is so beautiful. Something like that. And that singer, because they are in the limelight, they are in the public domain. And that actor, oh, he's so beautiful. But beauty is in the eyes of the perceiver. And we can hear, we can have we can even have some names of those people whom people like, the people in the public domain. People always like to talk about them. Yeah, because if you are in the public domain, of course you are famous, and people always talk about you. So it doesn't necessarily mean that those who talk about you are not beautiful. Everyone, as for me, everyone is beautiful. But I can just name a few people whom it's all about. Maybe some people find them as their role models. They said, "Oh, I want to act like maybe I want to act like Hailey Berry." that lady. Or someone will say, oh, I want to act like Catherine Zeta-Jones. Or someone will say, oh, I want to sing like Ariana Grande. Or I want to sing like Beyonce. And those are in the limelight, you know. And people sometimes talk about their beauty, you know, which is good because people, we are allowed to have like role models and so on. And someone said, oh, there was an actor called Elizabeth Taylor. People would talk about her as well. And they would say, oh, those women, they are really beautiful because they are in the limelight. And people just, you know, most people take them as beautiful, you know, ladies, you know. So, because of their existence in the limelight, in the public domain. Now, there's a story which I heard when I was just researching about uh, beauty. You know, sometimes beauty, when people perceive someone as beautiful, sometimes it might have some implications in their life. In their life, for example, I've read a story. This story is about, you know, legendary. It's a legendary story, meaning it happened. It is a story which is believed to have happened long time back, long time back. So this story happened in Greece. In Greece, it seems in Greece lots of things are happening during those olden times. We hear many stories about the legends, the gods. What else do we hear? The athletes, the beginning of the Olympics. You know, it's like everything was happening in Greece. You know, which is really beautiful. You know, and famous thinkers, the great thinkers like Aristotle and many other, you know, and the scientists, to name just a few. So I don't know what was really about the Greeks, you know, and yeah. So lots of stories we hear, which had happened in Greece. So let me tell you this story. I just read it today, and I found it interesting. It's about a famous princess. And this princess was called Helen of Troy. That was her name. So Helen of Troy, according to those days, the Greeks considered her to be a beautiful princess. You know, so all of the Greeks in that time, they used to know Helen of Troy, and the only thing which made her very famous is because everyone perceived her to be beautiful, and she was also a princess. So Helen of Troy, the beautiful princess. What happened is that Helen of Troy um, was married to one of the princes, and the princess was called um, Monelius of Sparta. The prince was called Monelius of Sparta. So Sparta was another place in Greece. You know, there was Sparta, there was I think Athens and another place. So this prince who had married Helen of Troy was King Monelius of Sparta. So King Monelius of Sparta had a daughter. I mean, Helen of Troy had a daughter with King Monelius of Sparta. And as they were living happily, then something happened. Another man, or maybe another prince or princess, another prince called uh, called Paris of Troy. You know, so because Helen of Troy was famous because of her beauty. So it was all about being beautiful. So what happened is uh, Paris, Paris of Troy, a prince, went and took Helen of Troy from Monelius of Sparta. So he sort of abducted, abducted this lady, this princess. In fact, she was a queen because she was married to King Menelaus of Sparta. So this other man, because of the because Helen of Troy was famous because of her beauty. Of course, everyone knew about her because she was the queen. So um, Paris of Troy made a plan and went and abducted this Helen of Troy and ran away with her all the way to Sparta. No, all the way to Troy, So from Sparta to Troy. So Helen was abducted. So uh, the abduction of Helen of Troy, uh, was now spread all over Greece, that the queen had been abducted and she went away with um, Paris of Troy. So this story, when it happened, then obviously King Menelaus of Sparta became very angry about it, wasn't happy about it. So he had to do something about it. So what happened is that then a war broke out, and this war is known as the um, Trojan War. Yeah, people have heard about this Trojan War. So the Trojan War broke out because a beautiful princess or a beautiful queen was taken away from her husband by someone who wanted to to take over this Helen of Troy. So according to the Greeks, then no one was happy about it. I mean, the people of King Menelaus, they were not happy. So the war went on and on and on for about 10 years fighting because of this abduction. And then the people would then started to judge, according, they were now concluding, oh, this beautiful princess, this beautiful queen has caused the war because of her beauty. So according to them, they were now saying, oh, Princess Queen Helen of Troy is like a curse. Her beauty is a curse. When something is a curse. And because her beauty had brought suffering and people, fighting for 10 years, imagine. So that beauty was like a curse. And I've heard that a certain author called Horner, wrote this story, And even if you search on films, the people also acted, acted this legendary story about Helen of Troy. So it's all about beauty turning into a curse. It's quite interesting. I like this story, really. I like the story. So that's the story of Helen of Troy, who was abducted by another prince, and she ran away with her to another place, and the king was not happy. Then there was war, and the war went on for about 10 years. And this story is just like signifying that the beauty of Helen of Troy was like a curse because it led to people fighting for her so that the king would have her back. I forgot to read it to the end whether they finally got her or not. I don't remember now what the author said about the result of the fight. You know. So that's the story of Helen of Troy. I think I would love to look for the film and watch it. Yeah, I will search for the film and watch it. I think it's quite interesting. Imagine someone uh, taking someone's the queen and going away with the queen, and then people fighting again to get the queen back. So that is the story of Helen of Troy. Helen of Troy. Now there's another story again, which is all about these beautiful legendary people, beautiful women of long, long, long back. This is another story. And the second story, which I'm going to tell you, it happened in Egypt. This story happened in Egypt. There was also a very a pharaoh, but this one was a lady pharaoh. I was surprised to hear that they also used to be lady pharaohs. I thought the pharaohs were only men. But this one was a lady pharaoh in Egypt. In Egypt, that's where there were pharaohs. The rulers were called pharaohs. You know, instead of calling them kings and queens, they called them pharaohs. So there was a pharaoh who was a lady in Egypt, and this pharaoh was called Cleopatra. And she was known to be so beautiful, like Helen of Troy. People would perceive her and see, oh, this pharaoh is beautiful. So that was the case with Cleopatra. She was beautiful, and the author, who was describing her, said, "Oh, Cleopatra had intelligence, and she was full of charm." When someone full of charm, it means the people perceived her to be so beautiful, full of charm and intelligent. And the name was Cleopatra. So Cleopatra was a pharaoh. And during those days, they said that Cleopatra sort of uh, uh, was the last pharaoh, and she sort of was going to another land, and there were wars and so on, during those days. But finally, Cleopatra couldn't stand what was happening in Egypt. So, according to the author, they said finally she just decided to leave everything. You know what I mean by leaving everything. She left everything, and that was the result of you know a beautiful pharaoh. And people also acted this film about Cleopatra. The name sounds familiar. I've heard about this Cleopatra. It's only today I managed to read about it again. So this was another beautiful princess, another beautiful pharaoh. Oh, they were not called princesses, they were called pharaohs. So we know about Helen of Troy. It's all about beauty. And Cleopatra, beauty and being a pharaoh. And then finally she surrendered everything and she left everything. And we also know of like modern. Then now we are finished with the long time, the times of long back, and now we are looking at modern times. Even during these modern times, I've said people perceive some of the actors, some of the princesses, and some of the actors, princesses, models. They perceive them as beautiful. Some people perceive them as beautiful. So this is a reality. That's how people perceive them. Like long back, they perceived Helen of Troy as a beautiful queen, and they perceived Cleopatra as a beautiful pharaoh. So we also have like modern days, we have people whom people think, oh, I think she's beautiful. People like Marilyn Monroe, a model, an actor, and Marilyn Monroe from the United States of America. She was perceived to be a beautiful model, an actress, and she went to Hollywood to do acting there. And we also have another one called Elizabeth Taylor. If you like go on the public domain, you see her pictures, and people perceived her to be beautiful, Elizabeth Taylor, and many other, like modern ones. We have many modern ones. Yeah. So nowadays, people are always trying, people like we say people because even men and women, people are always trying to enhance beauty. They want to enhance, it's like they want to have self-love. When they have self-love, they love themselves. It's not like vanity or pride. They just love themselves. Then what they do is that, oh, I want just to change, to sort of change my appearance somehow, and to make sure I look like polished. So what these people do, you know, they do it. They try to enhance beauty, and they sort of like adapt to some certain healthy lifestyles. They, what do? They do grooming. Grooming is like when they make sure they make up their faces, they moisturize their faces, they care for their nails. We have seen it all. They do that. People do that. They try to have, like, they trim their nails, and they have like they cut their hair, or what else do? They make sure they maintain their hairstyle. If they want their hair to flip this side, always see them, their hair is flipping this side, or their hair is covering their eyes. It's like um they want to sort of enhance their beauty. That's the nature of human beings. They want, when people see them, then the people say, oh, look at the hairstyle. Wow, the hairstyle is amazing. And when people look at their complexion, they'll say, oh, the skin looks so glimmering, like it is glimmering. So people are doing that nowadays. I don't know if Helen of Troy was doing that. I don't think so. Long back, because there were no things like, I don't think there were things like makeup. There was nothing like that, I think. So nowadays, people are doing their faces, they're doing their nails, they're doing their hair, and they're doing their skin, and they try to moisturize their skin. They do, like, cleansing. There's something called cleansing the skin. People do that. It's a way of just enhancing their beauty. Because at the end of the day, they just want to come to the point where people say, oh, your skin looks stunning. Oh, your hair looks so good. That's what they do. And something also they do is to enhance their beauty. Some people go into certain diets. People go into certain diets, and maybe when they follow those diets, it improves maybe the texture of their skin. It improves how their skin glows, something like that. So they do like diets, and they make sure that they keep hydrated, because hydration is also, it gives like boost the skin's quality, the skin. So people, they know what to do. They do a diet, hydration, and also people who want to, like, to enhance their beauty, the way they look. When people look at them, because it's not they, no one tells himself that, oh, some people will say, oh, I look like beautiful, but usually it's us people who see you, then you say, oh, look at her, her skin is glowing. People like that. So sometimes, and in most cases, people try to have good sleep. Good sleep is good also for your general look, and you sleep, reasonably, and you try by all means to find ways of reducing stress. Because remember, I said in the first, when I started talking here, I said every day we sort of meet some challenges. So what we mean by challenges, when we have a challenge, usually it will like, put like a bit of pressure on your mind, and you get a bit of stress. So sometimes it is a good idea to find ways to go about stress. So if you do that, it helps you to stay like, have like less pressure on yourself. You try to find solutions here and there, although it's hard, but it's worth doing it. So it also helps to enhance your sort of well-being. Yes, well-being. And the other thing which the people do out there in trying to enhance their beauty, people like to look for clothes which they love. Some people love certain clothes and they look for those clothes. And some people love certain colors of clothes and they like to wear those clothes. They are trying to just make themselves like, they in themselves, they think they want to make themselves presentable. And when the public looks at them, then the public will say, oh, look at her. She's wearing this kind of designer clothes, or she's wearing this lovely trousers. She's wearing this lovely, coat. So people look for their favorite clothes, the clothes they like. And when they wear them, the clothes are fitting, then they feel that, oh, they look they feel that they look beautiful, and then the perceiver, the public, will also agree that, oh, you look beautiful. And some of them, they enhance their beauty through jewelry. Yeah, they like to wear, like, you find men, they buy like expensive, like, watches. Some wear, like ladies, they like to wear like earrings, and some wear necklaces, and some wear like bangles, which are of, like, yeah, which to them they look beautiful. So it's a way of enhancing beauty. So the other thing which people do is all about the thing I was talking about yesterday. Yesterday, I was talking about self-love. So people also, when you love yourself, it's not like you want to show vanity or pride. Just love yourself. Like, oh, I need to care for myself. It means you love yourself. So self-love, is when you love yourself, you treat yourself with kindness. Like, oh, when I wake up, I need to maybe to do this and this, like hygiene wise. I do this and that and that and that. And maybe in the evening, I'll do this and that. Like, you love yourself, that is self-love. So it is about um, the things you do for your day-to-day hygiene. And this is a positive attitude. If you do that, it will help you to to maintain this, like, enhance your beauty. It enhances your beauty. For example, you can say, oh, I've just been, for example, you cannot say, I've just been, maybe you were like walking the dog, and then when it was raining, and when you walked the dog, maybe you went into some puddles of water, and maybe there was like mud covering your legs and so on. So if you have self-love, you said, oh, I just been walking the dog, so look, my feet are all covered with mud. Then someone with self-love will say, oh, let me just like put my legs in the in the tub or in the shower. You just prepare yourself to bed while you are like it's looking sparkling clean, so that's part of self-love. So it all also boils to, there's like they are connected to enhancing beauty, what we always do. People always do that. So self-love is about happy with when you are happy with your appearance, you are happy. We are always happy. All of us, we are happy about our appearance. We are happy, and it is good for us, to be happy. And it leads us to have like confidence, and it leads us to have confidence. And what else? It helps us to be comfortable, with who we are, like I am me, this is me. There's a song which says, "This is me." Yeah, it's me. It's me. I will never change to be somebody else, So it is like that self-love is really important. It makes you love yourself. It makes you have confidence. You can do whatever you want to do, which is positive, of course. You are comfortable in who you are. You don't say, oh, you don't like have like wishes. Why should we don't have wishes? We are who we are. We are happy with with whom we are. We are happy with with ourselves. That's the confidence which we like. So if you have that confidence, you love yourself, then that love will flow to other people. That's the essence you know of having self-love. And this is connected with, self-love is also about having beauty in yourself. And when your emotions flow to others, that means, we become like, yeah, we won't have any like, like scuffles and so on. We are a happy family, because we love each other. We have self-love. We find everyone to be beautiful. There's beauty in everything around us. So, although they say beauty is in the eyes of the perceiver, but as individuals ourselves, we must have self-love for ourselves. We must have self-love. Then if other people say, oh, I think that verse is beautiful, that's fine. Yeah. So we should always remember that beauty is all around us. Everybody is beautiful. Everyone is beautiful. No matter what. No matter what. Those people I've mentioned it is just that they are in the public domain, and their professions, people look up to them because of their professions, like actors, film stars, models, people just look up to them. But everyone else is beautiful, no matter what. So we are just like blooming flowers. Imagine a rose is just beautiful. Imagine a rose just blooming there, but we find beauty in it. And sometimes the paintings, we find beauty in them. And we find beauty in the stars. Even people will just go outdoors and look at the stars, just staring at the stars, the early morning stars. People find beauty in them. The waterfalls, people find beauty in them. The birds, the animals, people find beauty in them. And especially the young ones of anything. Imagine the baby of human being. They are beautiful. the little like kittens, they are beautiful. And the dogs, when they have the puppies, that time when the puppies, like they haven't opened their eyes, they look so beautiful. Yeah. So there's beauty in everything around us. And yeah, in conclusion, we are all beautiful. We are all beautiful. Yeah. That's the conclusion. We are all beautiful. We find beauty in all human beings, no matter what. Oh, James, hello, James. James came. James came to the live stream. Hello, James. James is saying hi. Hi, James. Nice to have you here. Yeah, today I was talking about beauty in everything, but the psychologists say beauty is in the eyes of the perceiver. But they go on to talk about that we can find beauty in objects around us. We find beauty in animals around us. We find beauty in birds around us. We find beauty in flowers around us. We find beauty in art which people draw. And first and foremost, beauty is in human beings. All human beings are beautiful. You know, everybody is beautiful. Yeah. But sometimes people just love to be occupied. They start like enhancing. They say they are enhancing their beauty, but the beauty is already there. Sometimes there's no need of enhancing beauty, in my opinion. Because I see beauty is just there, it's just there, we are just human beings. Beauty is just there. Of course, yeah, people would love to enhance it to say, oh, let me just, let me do some polishing up of my face and so on. But the beauty is just there. Sometimes there's no point. Sometimes we worry ourselves, but yeah, okay, that's our nature. We can't say don't do it. And because people love to enhance. That's why it's called enhancing beauty. Beauty which is already there. Hello, Scully Pop. Hello, hello. How are you? Scully Pop is a ska. Nice to have you here. And Scully Pop is greeting James. Oh, that's nice. Scully Pop is a Mr. Scooper. Mr. Scooper. That's nice. And Scully Pop is saying big SNF1. And Scully Pop is saying doing great. Oh, that's nice, Scully Pop. I was talking about, I know you know Helen of Troy. I was talking about Helen of Troy and Cleopatra, those two. I was talking about them today. So I think, yeah, nice to see you. You came when I was just winding up. That's fine, Scuddy Pop. At least you came. I was wondering where you were. Because I don't normally. And Scuddy Pop said 1,000 sheep. Yes, yeah, Cleopatra. And Helen of Troy, those two. Because people perceived them as beautiful, princesses and queens. And, but in the end, you know what they did? You know what Cleopatra is said to have done, what she did at the end. And although she was considered beautiful, but her outcome was like, I don't know, was questionable. And look at Helen of Troy. She was considered to be beautiful. Then someone took her away. And, the final thing, what happened because of that beauty? She caused a war which lasted 10 years, 10 good years, you know. So when it comes to this beauty thing, we need to be just like cautious, how we perceive beauty. We need to be cautious. Yeah. So always remember the story of Helen of Troy and the story of Cleopatra. Okay, guys. So I'm just saying goodbye for now. I'll see you tomorrow as well. I'm going to look for another story because I really loved the story of especially Helen of Troy. The story is amazing. I love that story. And the story of Cleopatra as well, it's good as well. But I think Helen of Troy is top notch. So thanks everybody for coming to the live stream. I'm really happy and I feel so good that I managed to talk about beauty, beauty in the eyes of the perceiver. And but in my opinion, everybody is beautiful. We should take everybody as beautiful, you know. Yeah, because we are human beings. We can't say, like a parrot or a peacock is beautiful and we leave human beings out. No, we are beautiful. All creatures, that's why there's a song which says, all creatures great and small, all creatures great and small. It is implying that all creatures great and small are beautiful. And which one is the greatest of the creatures is the human being. So we are beautiful. Thanks everybody for watching. I hope tomorrow you come back and we have another beautiful session and another story. I'm going to look for another story. Thanks all. Bye.